But like I said I want us to see, I want us to link Isaiah 14 to Genesis before the fall of man, Genesis chapter 1. So man was on earth, then sin was cast to the earth. So which implied that a sin that Adam and Eve sin was from outside source, was from outside source, was originated, was planned by Lucifer, the devil, the serpent here. The sin was orchestrated, was carried out by Mr. Sin himself. And there is a reason, there is a purpose for Lucifer doing all that he's doing. But that is not where I'm going. So I want to establish the fact that Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2 picture a narrative of a perfect word and a perfect man. Then chapter 3 gave us the narrative of how sin entered into the human race. Why the book of Isaiah chapter 14 verse 12 give us the narrative of how sin came into the world. So we see that the heaven and the earth has been, God has created the heaven and the earth. That is, God has created man before the fall of Lucifer, the cutting down of Lucifer. A man has been enjoying a relationship with God. So therefore, orchestrates the fall of man. Maybe because he was jealous of the relationship between man and God. I said maybe. But today I say we are going to be talking about the fall of man, and I make us to see that the first sin was committed in heaven by Lucifer. Then Lucifer brought about the downfall of man, as stated in Genesis chapter 3 narratives. Having said that, you see these accounts in Genesis chapter 3, there are so many narratives, school of thoughts, controversy about it. We have the allegory interpretation, and they claim that what happened in Genesis chapter 3 is mystical in nature. Then we have the literal interpretation that naturally, what happened to man naturally, that this is what happened to man naturally, that man fought naturally. Then we have the historical interpretation, which you can see in Romans chapter 5, verse 12 to 19. 2 Corinthians 11:3. Those are historical interpretation of what happened in Genesis chapter 3. Then we have that of Psalm 14. It's also equally historical interpretation of what happened in Genesis chapter 3. And having said that, the nature of the fall of man is this. Man was created as an intelligent being. He has moral faculty, spiritual faculty. He was given dominion. So which implied that man has the ability, the power to resist evil or yield to evil. Adam has the ability, the power to resist moral evil, but they choose from their own volition, their own free will. They were not forced to sin. From their own free will, from their own volition, they sin. So the sin of our first parents was volitional in nature, not that they were coerced to sin. And I said the sin came from what? Outsourced, that is, it was orchestrated, planned by Lucifer, that is the serpent, Satan. Because we want to take over what belongs to the Creator. Some say the sin of Adam and Eve was that they disobey God's commands, disobey God's instruction. But what I see in Genesis chapter 3 verse 5 was they believe a lie. That is, they believe Satan, they believe the serpents, and disbelieved God. Adam has enjoyed relationship with God, which I believe he understand or have a little knowledge about God, as we see in chapter 2 of Genesis, of the book of Genesis. And the devil now crept in. And they believed the devil above God that they have been enjoying relationship, fellowship with. God is omniscient. Science, he knows all things. He knows that this will happen. And he has makes plan for this mess that man has dragged himself into. So man, the first man disbelieve God and believe a lie. He said they will be like God. They were God already. So I see Adam and Eve aggravating, elevating their own will above the will of God for their life. Just as Lucifer elevates his will above the will of God for his life, or for God's purpose for his life. And this has been the tactics of Satan to this present age. The same old tactics